Good morning, 7th grade. Welcome to day 4 of week 5, April 23rd. So I'm just going to show you what we're looking at today. So you'll click on your classwork tab. You'll go to day 4. You'll see there's a lesson on interpreting points on a proportional graph. So a link has been provided for you for additional support if needed. You'll click on the lesson over here. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in so that you guys can see this. So for the warm-up, I asked you what is the constant of the graph, and I'm happy that we get a chance to go over this. So a lot of you guys were making the mistake on how to write your constant. You have to remember the constant is always in the form y over x. So you want to look at the change in y over the change in x, or the rise over the run, like we practiced when we were in school. So that means we're going to find two nice points. This graph's pretty nice. They have points bolded for you already. So I'm going to use the origin, and I'm going to use this point right here. So to find the constant, you want to find this change first. How many units up? So from 0, we went from 0 to 30. So my numerator would be 30, since that's the change in the rise or the change in the y. And my denominator is going to be my run. So I started at 0 and I went over to 2. So my constant should be 30 over 2. And then you always want to simplify if possible. So it would be 15. And if we relate the constant back to the question, we would say that Miguel saves $30 every 2 months. Or in the simplified version, he saves $15 per month. Okay, so this is really what you guys need to remember. A lot of you are making that mistake as far as how to write your constant. It has to be change in y over the change in x. A few of you also were, when you were identifying if a graph was proportional or not, were selecting the wrong reasons. So I just wanted to go over that too. This graph that we're looking at is proportional because it's linear. Linear means that it's a straight line. That's one of the reasons why this is proportional. It needs to meet two reasons. One is that it's linear. The other one is that it goes through the origin, which is 0, 0 right here. Okay? If this line is anywhere else, starting anywhere else, then it is not proportional because it does not go through the origin. Okay, so I just wanted to review that. For any of you that maybe didn't get a score that they liked on yesterday's exit ticket, I am providing an optional redo, which I'll show you after I go through today's lesson. Okay, so that's just that as a review of yesterday. Today we're going to take our understanding of proportional graphs and examine the graphs by identifying true statements from the information on the graph. So we want to remember that a point will be identified on the graph, and we're going to select all the interpretations that are correct. A key thing to remember is that a point is always written in the form xy, and we're going to use the labels on the axes to determine our true statements. Okay. So here's our first graph. It looks like maybe it's about a store. It's talking about pounds of meat and the price of it. So here are our options that we're going to explore and see which ones are true and which ones are false. So A says the point 2, 0.5. So I'm going to look on my graph and first see where this point is. So 2 and 0.5 is right here. This point is not even on our line. So I don't even have to go any further. This point's not on our line, so this is going to be a false statement. If it's not on the line, then we don't even have to waste our time looking at it, okay? The description does make sense. It says buying 0.5 pounds of meat is $2, which is correct, but the point that they identified is not on our graph. So we are going to say that that's a false statement. Okay? So we go on to B. B says the point 1, 0.25. Let's look for that point. 1, 0.25. Again, this point is not on our graph, so this is a false statement. If it's not on the line that's on your graph, then it's going to automatically be a false statement and you don't need to do any further work. Okay? C. The point 1.75 comma 7. So we'll go to 1.75. 1.75 would be between 1.5 and 2, so that's here. And 7 would be right here. So this is a point on our line. So this is good. So far, this point is on our line. So now we have to make sure the description makes sense. Shows that buying 1.75 pounds of meat, that is what's said here, so that's good, will cost $7, which is what the y-axis is. So this is a true statement. The point is on our line, and how they describe it is correct because it follows what the axes are labeled. So this is a true statement. Okay, and then we have the last one, the point 1.255. Let's first see if that's on our graph. 1.25 would be between 1 and 1.5, so that's right here. And 5, I'm going to go up, that would be between 4 and 6. So yes, this point is on our line. Now we just need to check the description. Shows that $5 was 5 representing the price. 5 is our y, so yes, $5 will buy you 1.25 pounds of meat. And that's correct. So D would also be true. So C and D in this problem is correct. And that's basically all you're doing for the following problems. You're going to be given a graph. You're going to be given 4 options to figure out if they are true or false. And you just go through each of them. Remember, if you look at a point and that point is not on your graph, you should automatically know it's a false statement and move on. Okay? So you'll continue going through that. There's a couple more for you to practice on your own. And then you're going to get up to this. So now that you've practiced, we're going to give you a point on a graph and you are going to interpret the meaning. So if I look at this graph, the way we're going to do that is remember that our point, again, is always x, comma, y. So our x-axis is representing pieces of chicken and our y-axis is representing the price. So if you had to interpret this, this means that for every 1 piece of chicken, it will cost you $1.25. And that's what you would write as your description. For every 1 piece of chicken, it costs $1.25. If you wanted to flip it and make it y over x, then you would just say $1.25 per piece of chicken. Okay, so both will work as long as you relate the number to the correct axis that it's representing. So x is the 1, it was representing pieces of chicken. Y is the price, and that was $1.25. Okay, so you'll do that a few more times, again, looking at the point and then interpreting it for a description. So it's 1, 100. The X is representing sodas drank. So this means that for every 1 soda drank, it would be 100 calories consumed. And that's all you're doing for today. Okay, then you'll go to your exit ticket, which I'll show you right here. You'll X out of this. Here's your exit ticket for today. It's going to be the same thing I just showed you. I believe it's 3 questions on picking the true statements and then 3 questions on interpreting the points. Here is the redo exit ticket from yesterday. So I know a few of you were asking to do the assignment over. This is an optional opportunity for you to redo the exit ticket from yesterday. It is not required. You will not be penalized for not doing it. You will only be rewarded if you get a higher score than you did on yesterday's exit ticket. Okay, so I just wanted to give that option to some of you that were, requesting that. So I hope that those of you that were take this opportunity to do so. All right, have a great day. Take care.